Prepare to decloak on
my command. Prep torpedo tubes 1 through 4. Fix range on Trench's command ship.
I thought we were on a relief mission. You learn pretty quick that when you serve under General Skywalker, you're always on the offensive. Now get ready to cycle those shields.
You realize our torpedoes may not be enough.
All I want is for Trench to think about us instead of the people on the planet below. It's time to introduce ourselves.
Activate the turbochargers. Release torpedo safety. Ready to divert power. Shield regeneration on standby.
Something odd is going on out there.
Ready torpedoes. Lock on to primary target. Disengage cloaking device.
There! A cloaked ship!
Fire!
Torpedoes locked and closing.
Activate the shields! Foolish Republic scum! Your puny torpedoes are no match for my thermo shields!
Alright. So, typical of Star Wars and a lot of other sci-fi, shields, more specifically cloaking shields or cloaking devices, are one of those much sought after, much dubious technology. And this is Mission to Lianna, an adventure for use of Star Wars, a role-playing game. Star Wars made by West End Games, and the Rebel Alliance's greatest weapon is not its bravery of its soldiers or its superior training or nor advanced weaponry. The Rebel Alliance is built on information. The Rebel heroes have been asked to deliver updated information to a Rebel-style network on an industrial world at Lianna, home of Sienar Fleet Systems, manufacturer of the dreaded Imperial TIE fighter, which starts as a simple delivery, becomes something even larger than the Rebels can imagine. As the characters discover, Lianna is where the Empire is building a secret weapon that could mean the destruction of the Alliance, a cloaking shield. It's up to the characters to infiltrate and destroy the plans before the Empire can put the cloaking shield to work. So, we have this 64-page book, includes the complete adventure involving corporate intrigue, Imperial officials, and secret rebel sympathizers determined to stop the Empire, even if it means sacrificing the characters. Complete information on the urban world of Lianna, its cities, peoples, industry, and includes locations and maps. Staging hints, guidelines, encounters, and rumors to help the Game Master run the adventure, and adventure script cutaway sections to capture the mood and feel of Star Wars. Alright, so let's take a look. This was published in 1992. Been toward the latter part of the West End Games scenario. There wasn't too many more years of production after that, I think. The West End Games went out of business. Introduction. Dark time for the galaxy. Brutal, mighty galactic empire controls thousands of worlds and has lost a military. Systems throughout the galaxy fear every movement, knowing that at any time the forces of the Emperor Palpatine could easily destroy or dominate their world. But there are some brave individuals who will not submit to the tyranny of the Empire. They have banded together, forming the Rebel Alliance, and the goal of freeing the galaxy and restoring the peace and prosperity of the ancient and wise old Republic. Rallied by the successes of such as the Battle of Yavin and other worlds, the galaxy dared to dream the freedom may once again be a reality. In this adventure, the war against the mighty matched against the nearly limitless rebels. Heroes have been ordered to stop the industrial world of Lianna to drop off important information. It's supposed to be a milk run, a simple stop, and then they are scheduled to travel on to another mission somewhere else. Lianna is a world vital to both the Empire and the Alliance. It is home to Sienar Fleet Systems, manufacturer of the infamous TIE series of starfighters. Information on continued activities of Sienar and its parent corporation. However, the simple milk run becomes an important mission. The hand of fate intervenes. Rebels enter the system in the middle of an Imperial blockade. After quickly meeting with their contacts, learn that Santh is developing part of an improved cloaking shield for the Empire. This now desperate race against the forces of the Empire and time. Can the rebels steal the plans for the Alliance? Can they destroy years of research? Can they slow the Empire's progress? Or will the Empire perfect a cloaking device, giving its deadly upper hand of war? So it's established that the various governmental entities and corporate entities in the Star Wars universe have been working on cloaking technology for millennia. We don't know how far back in canon or in legend canon, depending on how you want to look at it. Just a second here. You gotta sneeze. We don't know how long they've been working on this technology. It props up in various forms. Thrawn got his hands on some. It's obvious the Emperor has had technology and examples and working prototypes, and he squirreled them away in his treasure worlds for other reasons. The fact that they don't use them in large quantities in the mainline movies suggests that they're extremely expensive, unreliable, highly erratic, what have you. I know that there's at least one mention, because I've seen in some Google stuff, of a stealth TIE fighter that's 6 or 7 times the normal cost of a TIE fighter. And I know that from the oldest books, if you read the Lando Calrissian trilogy back in the day, there was an entire section of a far area of the galaxy where large numbers of battleships using cloaking technology exist. One of the downsides of cloaking technology in the Star Wars universe, canon and or legends, is that it hides your ship or whatever it is you're cloaking from the sensors and visual, generally the sensor specifically, but visual of an opponent. The downside is it also blocks your own sensors, and it creates difficulty doing normal operations using all in a cloaked situation. This showed up in the clip I showed at the beginning of this YouTube video. That seemed to be the opposite than what comes up in the books and in the old legend material. So that in their case, they not only were able to see out of the stealth ship and interact with what they were going on around them, they were able to be blind themselves to their opponents. In most canon in the older books, it was implied that your ship is flying blind. You can no more see outside the cloaking field than they can see you. So there had to be means or methods, such as having another device outside the range of the cloaking device, i.e. a periscope-like thing that would put you at risk of being discovered. So, preparing to play, adventure materials, adventure background, adventure synopsis. Rebels been sent to the industrial world of Lianna to drop off a data dish to the main Lance operative on the world, Terry Carl. However, upon entering the system, they discover a huge Imperial fleet within the space lanes, and while there should be no combat, the Rebels will discover the fleet is looking for something. In fact, a probe droid equipped with a cloaking device has somehow wandered into the space lanes. Upon landing on Lianna, they deliver the information, but Terry Carl learns of their encounter and insists that they undertake a mission that will benefit the entire alliance. She wants the characters to disable the Empire's cloaking device plans and, if possible, steal a copy of the plans for the alliance. To do this, they will have to penetrate the headquarters of Sienar Technologies. If the characters play this adventure well, they will be able to leave Lianna quickly and quietly. More likely result is they will trigger Santh security, and they will have to make use of emergency exit from the building as hostile forces within Santh have learned of the rebels' mission. The exit brings them into the middle of a Santh mission in the midst of wild reception, or the Santh mansion in the midst of wild reception to welcome Imperial advisor Verpalion. Using stealth and guile, they will have to leave the mansion's grounds and hopefully get back to their starship before the Empire is alerted to their presence and shuts down the whole planet. And if successful, they have delayed the Empire's development of a practical cloaking device for several years. So the adventure begins, and we have the basic information on the Star of Time, the ship that they're in possession of, the main characters, Terry Carl, Lady Santh, Philip Santh, Cassian Santh, Imperial Advisor Valpalion, Darren T. Weeb, Jenna Lars, planet log for Lianna itself, world summary, basic information, mission script. Episode 1, Shades of Lianna. When everyone's ready, the adventure is designed to act as an accident. While traveling to another important mission, they get swept up to events beyond their control and must abandon the planet in order to do what's best for the Alliance. If you have another adventure in mind, you may substitute the Carter sector for the location of your next adventure. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the Alliance's war against the Galactic Empire continues. With members of the Alliance, you've been asked to ferry your most valuable weapon to the industrial world of Lianna information. Landing of a famed Lola Crinch starport, you must go to Orman's Sky Palace and give the valuable data just to Jenna Lars. An Alliance contact on a bustling world. With that complete, you're free to continue on to the Keldras sector and another important mission. The fleet. As soon as the character's ship emerges from real space, every alarm the ship goes off. 2 Lianna class corvettes, Imperial Star Destroyer, the first ship's detected, but a few seconds later, characters also detect 3 Lancer class frigates, Interdictor class heavy cruiser, 5 Carrack light cruisers, etc. etc. This fleet doesn't know it's supposed to be. The fleet doesn't know. It's the fleet that doesn't belong. Any character making a very easy knowledge roll know the fleet this size seldom deployed to a system with something very important has happened. Your freighter is hailed, and as long as you behave yourself, you're allowed to land. Orbiting Lianna, Lola Crinch spaceport. Picture of Lola Crinch, metropolitan Lianna. Military sector, passenger terminal. Lianna guards, law enforcement at the starport. Imperial troops are comparatively speaking few Imperial troops at Lianna, and they are concentrated at the major starports and the Imperial Star Academies. There are also Imperial troops on leave. Lianna is a major starport in the sector. Imperial sector forces at Lola Crinch starport confine themselves mainly to custom duties and security for the Imperial warships and personnel. Lianna military guards, Sienar security guards, lots of security guards. Starport proper, Biblack's overhaul is a starship repair concern. Okay. Generic, basic information on Lianna and the starport, the Tion, and other things that you can get. The Tion is a cluster of stars, one of the galaxy's long spirals, comprised of some 12,000 stars. The Tion embraces nearly 600 habitable planets, currently organized into 3 sectors. The first of these is the Kronis Mandate, ruled from the central world of Chandahar. The core of the sector are the 14 heavily populated worlds that comprise the ancient kingdom of Kron. There are also 450 less populated worlds added in recent years, as well as numerous uninhabited planets. The Kronis Mandate, ruled by the current head of the House Kron, blah blah blah. So this is, if you do a background check or a computer reference check and you want to know more information. And here is a nice, interesting photo there. Astromech. So the various locations in the city that you can visit, modes of transportation, encounters. First die is starport security, spacers and revelers, Lion thugs, tour guides, pickpockets, Biblack, retired smuggler, Star Academy instructors, barge crews, Arhal Twi'lek dance troupe of Twi'leks are to be performing at the Santh party. Currently, they're out socializing. We'll mention their upcoming performance. For a medium-sized bribe, they will let the rebels pose as members of their troop to get into the party. They're very gregarious and a lot of fun to be around. There are 10 of them, led by Adrana Mit, i.e., a middle-aged choreographer. Then we have Orman's thugs. Here is Lola Crinch starport. Darren T. Tweeb, a spacer going about his business, encountered the Orman's Sky Palace. It's already occurred. He and Jan have formed a favorable opinion of the rebels. He will help them out any way he can. If not, he will not take any particular interest in the characters, although the Game Master should somehow justify introductions and so forth, perhaps being at the Lion and Astromech shop or similar situation. For these stats, see the character template section in the back of the book. Jan Lars, an old enemy. Lola Crinch starport is a busy place. You never know who you might run into. Gasp! It's your old enemy, Blank, whom you thought dead long ago. I killed Blank! Why does he keep coming back? Alright, starport rooming table. Rumor Sienar hires assassin droids to do their dirty work. Orman can't be trusted, sometimes turns people over to the Empire for pay. Terry Carl, rich socialite, and the Cashman Santh, grandson of Landy Santh, are seen at Orman's with Jana Lars. Imperial Fleet off of Lianna is looking for some kind of experiment gone away. Philip Santh and Lady Santhon wants to see his mother retire so he can run Santh Sienar. He doesn't care what happens to Lianna or her people. Darth Vader is secretly on Lianna. There are Lianna pirates looking for some smugglers who just arrived. Description of the smugglers should closely match that of the characters, which is false unless they've done something we don't know about, huh? Yeah, right? It was you, wasn't it? Yeah, you've been looking shiesty all through the last two sessions. Orma's Sky Palace. Just details of the big place to go party. What's going on behind the players' backs. The low table. There's a pretty big sized place, eh? Lots and lots of tables. The high table, the low table. There's your group. Meeting with Gianna Lars. Imperial Hotel, Orman Stuggs. Meeting with Terry Carl. This encounter introduces the rebels to the leader of the Alliance on Lianna, Terry Carl. Read the aloud. The door buzzer suddenly announces a visitor. The other side of the door is a petite blonde carrying a huge tray, and that, by the way, that is not her. Petite blonde carrying a huge tray. She asks, "Who ordered the delirium wine?" Being allowed into the suite, Terry will ask, "How are you doing tonight? Here's your tab," while pulling out the data pad that reads, Is it safe to talk here?" Once given the okay, either because the bugs have been disabled or because they weren't discovered, she will use this speech below. The rebels indicate they must go somewhere else. She will suggest a small clothing store she knows and will lead them there. She will then leave, and she joins them and will have a big backpack with her. When it's safe to talk, she reads loud, "I thought you guys might need some extra help. I'm Terry Carl. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Don't you just love Lianna?" "I do. It's sumptuous clothes. You'd be surprised how much credit buys on the open market here. Everything in the world, and I do mean everything, is available here. Isn't that just fantastic? So how's the Alliance? Still in the jam? Lose more places? Mercy me, when are we going to start winning, huh? Would be nice, wouldn't it? Anybody want any munchies?" Terry talks a mile a minute, rarely letting the rebels get a word in. She then pulls the cover off the tray or opens her backpack and hands each of them a very lightweight hold-out blaster. Most of the weapons scanners won't pick these up, but be careful because they only shoot about a dozen times before the barrels melt. It was a trade-off for stealth and secrecy. She is talking to one of the characters to learn that Santh is working on a cloaking shield codenamed Project Nova. The rebels must get into the Santh Sienar technology building to steal the Nova plans. Imperial advisor, Verpalian, official Imperial representative on the Nova project, is supposed to arrive tonight to review the plans. During a welcoming celebration that night, the building should be empty. His visit should keep everyone busy until the rebel team sneaks in. Another contact of hers knows quite a bit about the building. They will be meeting them at Gelglaki's Tavern in an hour. She gives them the address and then read aloud. "I've got to run now. Ta! I have a hair appointment, then I need to pick up somebody's sand moose from the pet vac. They get so dusty, you know. This Nova stuff has made me postpone getting my nails done, and I was supposed to visit this perfectly charming arms dealer from Sensorial 5 that I met last week. Bye, kids." Plan of action. When the characters enter Glaggergix, they will see Terry and a handsome young man they don't recognize. Right. There's our Terry right there. The rebels must disable, but not destroy the Nova plans. He's able to break into some computers, steal some false computer strings. The rebels must insert these false codes into the Nova plans so that when the device finally manufactured, it won't work, and research scientists won't know the source of the problem. The rebels are the only ones that can do this because, to be honest, you're expendable. If you succeed, we can write it off as a corporate espionage, and there isn't a data trail back to me. If you fail and are caught, well, you're just a few field agents. If you talk, trust me, I'll make sure you end up dead before you finger me as a rebel operative. Sorry to do this to you, but it's reality. Cashin will supply various false code words from different computers. The complete plans can only be found in the computer terminal in Lady Santh's office. This is the machine that must be tampered with. Subsystems of the plant can be found on the 57th floor. There are 5 distinct computers containing the subsystems. See episode 2 for a list of subsystems. Cashin can describe the floor plan, but not great detail. It says here, Game Master note, the holdout blaster Terry give the rebels will fire 1d plus 10 times before the barrels melt. So between 11 and 16 times before you're out of luck. Trip to the country, and what happens to if the players leave Clola Kirch by land? Starport, blah blah. Episode 2, Corporate Webs. Summary, Sienar Technologies, the plan. The Rebel team visits Sienar Technologies corporate headquarters. They must find their way to Lady Sant's private office, avoiding security guards, droids, and inquisitive employees along the way. Finally, Rebels can patch into the private database and attempt to retrieve and disable the Nova plans. Security plans, security system, actions, interior of the building, destroy or disable. So the characters can elect to either destroy or somehow disable the Nova plans. While destroying them is easier to also immediately clue Philip Santh and his engineers that there's been an obvious industrial sabotage, and the engineers will merely retrace the development of their work, assuming they had a successful program underway. Cash and Santh strongly urges the characters to somehow change the plans so no one notices that they have been tampered with. He suggests the characters tinker with some of the basic elements that are incorporated into each of the cloaking device's subsystems. That way, when the engineers try to figure out what went wrong, there are substantial glitches in every aspect of this device, conceivably throwing research back several years. Motion detectors, laser sensors, automatic lasers, stun gas, and a load of security stuff to get through. This is a James Bond kind of, or maybe a Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible. Santh security droids. Santh Sienar Technologies by day. Some floor prints. Game Master notes. Infiltration. The Mercivian Naga method is to enter during the day on legitimate business, find a storage cabinet or other quiet place, and wait for the building to close. Fortunately, many employees work late and only leave 4 or 5 hours after closing. This is a trick requiring patience, but it can work well with the Rebel team, as it did for the legendary galactic pirate it was named for. Or wait until later. Santh Sienar by night. Game Master notes. Ground floor. Various locations. More locations. Lady Santh's office by day. In the daytime, the automatic lasers will, of course, be off in order to stop the correct floor. Turbulent droid will buzz the receptionist upstairs. All the information. Accessing the Nova files. Destroying the Nova plans. Lady Santh and the pirates. Espionage complete. Considering the degree of security in Santh buildings, quite likely the characters will trip some silent alarms and seal themselves behind security doors. If they discover the secret elevator running down to the shuttle in Lady Santh's office, they will be able to escape the building without a major commotion. They take the approach to cut episode 3, what a reception. They decide to go to reception, also cut to episode 3. If they decide to get the Nova plans and just leave, cut to episode 4 for the beginning of the chase. If you like, you may run the chase straight out or have them bump into Terry Carl on the way to the reception. Then we got the summary. Episode 3, what a reception. The rebels arrive through secret tunnel only to find a huge party in full swing, a lavish reception in the honor of none other than Imperial Advisor Lord Verpillion. He's here with an honor guard and dozens of Imperial officers. Rebels must bluff their way past all the guests, and Imperials even past Lady Santh herself. Then they must steal the speeder or swoop, and return to the ship with some of Terry's help. Cutaway to Verpillion's arrival. What a reception. The Santh mansion, a cooking droid. Imperial Advisor's arrival. Land architecture from ethnic architectural forms of the Tian hegemony. Bunch of different locations, descriptions, more location descriptions, mansion security guards, the party. Throughout the mansion, reception for the Vampilion is in full swing. About 300 guests are present. About a third of them are Imperial officers and their wives. The guest list includes Roden Vampilion, his entourage, Lady Santh, her son, and her grandson, and her granddaughter. The staff of the Twin Star Academies and their spouses. A few outstanding cadets. The other 200 or so guests are handpicked by Lady Santh to drive Vampilion crazy. Most are loudly dressed, drinking, being loud. Party guests include a troop of Twi'lek acrobats, all wearing flimsy yellow garments, 30 Lian businessmen with no shame. They are trying to look cultured and gaudy, bright in flesh and orange. 80 Novu rich Leons and their eligible daughters, many of them on man huts, and their eligible sons, many of them on woman huts. Random soothsayers, entertainers, chefs, spacers, and companions for hire. Lady Santh is trying to remind Vampilion why he hates Lianna and encourages a short stay. She has invited every offensive person she can think of and has tipped off the entertainers to act up. Party rumor table. Sounds like a hell of a party. I mean, a heck of a party to me, right? Rumors. Me and the wife are spending the night. Lots of hoodlums in the streets after dark. The Orland is a scrap heap. I don't know why they don't decommission her. He's got a nice flight manner, but he's a torture and a sadist at the core. Vampilion gives me the creeps, I tell you that. It's a true rumor, by the way. Party encounter table. Curious Imperial guards, an old acquaintance, perhaps a rejected lover from years ago, or a power from the Imperial Academy. A former senator might know been praying on half the nobility present. Roll high roll chart, servant, major domo, British Alliance sympathizer, Twi'lek acrobat. Soothsayer. Leaving the mansion, private vehicles, the doorman. Here's a selection of different vehicles that you can snatch. Dangerous streets. There's thugs and goons. Episode 4, Escape from Lianna. The Chase. Summary: after leaving Lady Santh's lavish reception, the rebels return to their ship through busy streets of Lulakritch. However, they may be Imperial stormtroopers guarding the ship, or hired guns of Orman, and the Shevan may be waiting for an opportunity to bash them. Rebels must break out through the crowded traffic patterns of Starport and clear Lianna's gravity field, make the jump to hyperspace while avoiding forces of the Empire. What you doing there, Frankie? Yeah? Yeah? What? You gonna try to jump up here? Is that what you're trying to do? Huh? You trying to get up here? No? Frankie the Shelter Cat. Shit. And other less cultured nicknames. She is a pistol. I can tell you that right now. She is a pistol. When she gets wound up, she's just all over the place. Like right now. What are you trying to do? You trying to get up there and knock a bunch of stuff down? Yeah? Yeah? Is that what you're trying to do? Huh? You trying to get A's attention? Yeah? Is that what you want? Right there? Yeah? Huh? Yeah? Is that you? Is that you? Is that Frankie the Shelter Cat? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Huh? Yeah? Right there? Yeah? You gonna look at my book? No? Right? Over here. You gonna look in the mirror? Huh? You gonna see yourself in the... You gonna see yourself? Huh? You gonna see yourself? No? Say hi. Yeah, hi. To Billy? Yeah? No? Alright, come on. What do you do, right? What do you do? Okay, may or not have told you the story about her, but she came out of a hoarder's house, some 75 cats that were alive, and she has one bad eye, and yes, probably didn't know anything better. The lady was actually throwing cats out the second floor window as the authorities were coming through her front door because she was convinced that all these poor animals were going to be put down. In Iowa, they do not do that anymore. They will house them until they find them forever homes, right? Alright, Frankie. Escape the chase. You know, the typical chase. Come on. Everybody's gone down that road. Back of the ship. Blasting it out. Failures other ways off-world. Picket ships. They always plan itself passenger ship leaving Lianna. There are a great many of these tickets available in starport terminals for 400 to 5,000 credits, depending on the distance and quality accommodations. This is a good lead-in if your next adventure begins shipboard. Your characters are going to take a passenger liner. Final confirmation Orman's thugs may take place on the way to the ship, and may be desirable to have the Imperials or Sans Security discover the true nature of the rebel characters at the last moment. Conduct an impromptu search of all bags and computers, a simple way of adding suspense to the final moments. Major passenger line out of Lianna is Sans passenger freight. Common destinations: Tyne, Candace, Chandahar, the Servo, Barsag, and major ports in the Cronies Mandate. Another option would be to charter or steal another craft. Picket ships. You know, you gotta run the blockade upstairs and get out. Rebel plans. Announcement. It says here, cutaway. Read aloud should be used to grapple spectator will get away. Read aloud. Exterior of the Sans mansion grounds. Lady Sans standing on the atrium feeding fish in an incidental pool. Servant hurries up. My lady, the rebels are away. She turns into Repelian. After them, my lady. He engaged the rebels but apparently failed to capture them. Started or is preparing to jump back to Candace so they can report to his master. Palatine. Sounding myth. So Lady Sans makes a word an oath. No matter, Repelian will return for his test. Servant watches her, waiting for their orders. That'll be all, she says, and her servant hurries away. She waits there by the pool, trying to see something in the spreading ripples. She watches a fish food falling from her hands in long silent while at the surface of the pool. Then a small smile touches her face. The artificial quiet of the garden, she says softly. Their mission is finished. The Empire's weapon is stopped for now. Philip is oblivious. Cashin is safe from investigation. My mission, however, has just began. Cut to Terrier Bridge, Imperial Star Destroyer Warlord. Imperial advisor Repelian stands quietly while behind him a nervous-looking Philip Sans paces, and several days after the rebels have left Lianna. The officer approaches Repelian and simply nods. With a confident smile, Repelian looks back at Sans. Is it ready then? Let's test the Novar's bluff. Both men take their observation positions overlooking the majestic ship. Gauge the shield on my command. Now. Repelian orders, waits for a second, and patiently looks for a report from his officers. Finally, the officer looks up. No change, sir. The ship is easily detectable. Repelian's rage is immediate and violent. Come, Mr. Sans, we must discuss the capabilities of your engineers and your ability to keep your word. Obviously, both are woefully lacking. So we have our mission to Lianna character templates. Lady Valis Sans, Terry Carl, Philip Sans, Cashin Sans, Imperial Advisor, Orman, Captain Darren Tweeb, Jenna Lars, the Rebel Alliance Source Book. So, mission to Lianna.